Picture this. 10 years ago, I was curled up on the bathroom floor, thinking, is this really worth it? Fast forward to today, I am healthier and happier and ready to spill every surprising lesson from over a decade of castor oil cleansing. Here's the truth no one tells you. Healing is messy, uncomfortable, and will oftentimes have you wondering, is it worth it? So let's dive into some of the questions that brought you here today. What is a castor oil cleanse? And does it actually work? Why would someone willingly do something that sounds so intense? What are the benefits and challenges of doing a castor oil cleanse? Stick with me for the next several minutes, and you will see why this ancient remedy has been revered, has stood the test of time, and why I keep coming back to it decade after decade. Plus, I have a bonus for you waiting at the end of this video to make the whole castor oil cleansing process as easy as possible. Point number 1, don't ignore the body's conversation. Ever have a nagging symptom that you simply brushed off as normal? Well, it wasn't. So here's the story. 10 years ago, I ignored every single signal my body was giving me. Pain, exhaustion, digestive distress, weight gain. I had an enlarged spleen, skin rashes, Epstein-Barr virus. Oh my goodness, there was so much. I felt like a walking medical directory. I chalked it up to stress, being a mom, being a woman, being hormonal, aging. Nothing really to get my panties in a bunch about. Then the wake-up call for me came when I nearly fell asleep while driving my precious sons to their piano lesson. That was when I knew something had to change. That's when I was reminded of castor oil. In order to eradicate myself from a lot of the symptoms that I was dealing with required a deeper kind of cleanse. And doing this level of cleanse, I struggled a lot with doubt. And honestly, I was pretty terrified with what would happen with every teaspoon of castor oil I took, alternating between rubbing it over my liver area or putting it in my belly button, eating a castor oil cookie. During the process, I had to fight against wanting to take the shortcuts to remind myself to stick to the plan. I discussed my worries and my concerns with my practitioner, who did a fantabulous job of educating me and walking me through that process in conjunction with leaning on my husband for support. Because healing is work. It's hard work. Just as I should have listened to the check engine light my body was giving me time and time again, undergoing this level of castor oil cleanse gave me a new chance to learn how to listen to and respond appropriately to my body and its needs. And before we even continue, let me just tell you right now, the relief I experienced at the end of the castor oil cleanse, undeniable. Please remember that your body is talking to you every day, all day long. Symptoms that we tend to want to brush off, those are absolutely red flags. Red flags that we should listen to, pay attention to, investigate. Castor oil cleansing, or any cleanse really, it's about hitting reset and letting your body restore itself naturally. Don't put a deadline on healing. What if I told you that healing doesn't run on your schedule? And that's a good thing. When I first started my castor oil cleanse, I thought, okay, 5 days, easy peasy. I'll give it up to a solid week. Then all should be good to go. I'm talking about the list of all the things that I had that were not right. I gave it 7 days to correct itself. All my troubles would simply vanish. Reality check. My body had other plans. Yeah. When I stopped fighting, my first win wasn't miraculous. It was simply the relief of not waking up in the middle of the night in agonizing pain. But slowly over time, my energy returned. I stopped falling asleep every 10-15 minutes during the day. My skin started to clear up. After the cleanse, I started to feel lighter on the inside and out. But it took patience and consistency, and understanding that healing isn't a straight line or a quick fix. Give your body the time it needs to do the work, busting myths and facing fears. Are you afraid of castor oil? You're not alone. Many are, I was one of them. But can we take a moment to clear some things up? And maybe that will help lessen some of the fear. When I first heard about a castor oil cleanse, I imagined being chained to my bathroom for hours. I had my bathroom stacked with all kinds of books, magazines, and CDs. Back then, there was no streaming services, so CDs it was. But was I chained to the bathroom? I traveled there a couple of times, but I wasn't chained. That wasn't the case. The castor oil cleansing process that I went through wasn't this huge dramatic purge. It turned out to be quite gentle, really, bringing me to another myth that I heard about castor oil, which is that it can only be used for digestive health. My personal perspective, castor oil could support almost everything: digestive stuff, gas, bloat, stagnant waist, hormonal shifts, hot flashes, what else? Breast tenderness, restless sleep. Let's not forget pain and stress relief. That's maybe not everything, but that's a lot. So yes, from where I stand, castor oil could benefit digestion. But as you just heard, it does so much more. So let's talk about the other fear: taste. Whenever I use castor oil internally, I will admit I am a bit extra. I am gagging and all dramatic and doing all the things, making all the faces. But the fact is that castor oil doesn't really have a taste. It's kind of neutral. My reaction is more so the texture, the consistency, the whole thickness, gooiness of it all. And sometimes swallowing it, it feels like it's going to take forever to go down. But I'm a texture person. If you are using castor oil internally and it has a taste, then don't use it. The fact is, castor oil doesn't necessarily have a taste. For me, it's the whole thickness of it that is not getting a thumbs up. A lot of it could just be mental, but despite the fact that I am extra when it comes to internal use of castor oil, and the fact that finding food grade castor oil is hard. That's sometimes like digging for gold. But the external use of castor oil is just as effective as the internal. And overall, it is less nerve provoking. And it is one of the applications that I use more so than the internal, because it's hard to find food grade castor oil. And the little bit that I have, I needed to stretch. Long way. But if you are intrigued by castor oil's internal use and you want to bypass the yuck factor, my self-proclaimed yuck factor that is, here are some pro tips for you. Mix castor oil with a little bit of juice, or my personal favorite, some ginger tea. You'll barely notice the castor oil in there. The oil and the water will not necessarily mix, because oil and water does not mix, but going down, it will be a much smoother experience. Or you can try this castor oil cookie recipe. Castor oil is a natural, time-tested remedy that works with your body, not against it. The surprising benefits. What's the payoff for all of the efforts of doing a castor oil cleanse? Let me tell you up front, a castor oil cleanse for me, worth it. At first, going into the cleanse, I was just hoping to not feel awful. But the more consistent I was, the more benefits I noticed. My digestion improved, my skin rashes cleared up, and my sleep became deeper and more restorative. Like even my mood shifted. I wasn't so terrible to be around. If my family could be honest and tell you, I wasn't nice. It never ceases to amaze me that when I feel good internally, my outward behavior reflects that. Before the castor oil cleanse, my anxiety was through the roof, with clouds of depression looming over it. After my cleanse, I felt calm, centered, and more in tune with my body. It was like my system, my body had been carrying around old baggage, physically and mentally. And the castor oil cleanse dislodged things. And my body was ready to let it go. And it did it very gently. A decade of castor oil cleansing has become my full body reset to help me feel lighter, clearer, and more energized. And if you're ready to take the next step in your healing journey, download the Castor Oil Cleanse Checklist in the link below. It's packed with tips, precautions, and everything you need to get started. And check out this video next on how I heal my gut beyond bone broth for even more insights into holistic healing. Remember, your body is designed to heal itself. Sometimes it just needs a little help.